Okay, welcome to day 4 of the virtual pilgrimage for unification and liberation. We're just gonna dive in and grok what's happening, and then I'll tell you where I am and why it matters in the next one. This seems to be the way that this is coming through, so we'll just go with this, yeah? So let's grok. Safe space. Let's stand up again so that we can be ready to move some energy. We're gonna really be moving some energy today, so get up. And you can go ahead and close your eyes if that feels good to you. You can leave them open if that's helps you to better connect somehow. Just here, taking a few deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling everything that brought you to this moment. Exhaling and letting it all go. And inhaling the biggest breath you've taken all day. And then exhaling and letting that go. Yay. So let's go ahead and bring our awareness to above the crown of our heads, shooting straight up into the sky, through the atmosphere, up through the cosmos, till we reach that source of light energy, source light, universal energy. And once you contact that, it just it turns on the hydrant and it just starts flowing down to you and through you and all around you. And this waterfall of liquid light pouring down through the crown of your head, pouring into your brain. And it's like the waterfalls pouring into your brain, which becomes like the lake that the waterfall is pouring into, and your mind just becomes a still lake of light in the center of your mind. And then allowing that light, that lake to have an outlet. So maybe it has like a river or a creek out through your third eye in the front and the back, where that water just pours out through the front and back of your third eye. The little streams out your eyeballs and your ears. The waterfall of liquid light is just also pelting your energy around you, as well as pouring down to you and through your crown and out your third eye and your ears, that it pours down into your jaw, relaxing your jaw muscles, and it creates little streams out your nose and your nostrils, clearing out your sinuses, flushing them out, flushing out your sinuses. Remember to use all of your embodiment tools, all 7. As this light continues to pour down through you, and it pours out the front and back of your throat, also releasing, you can imagine this waterfall pelting your neck and your shoulders, and relaxing and releasing. You might even do that with your fingers, pelting it, your head, your neck, your shoulders, tapping them and releasing all of those muscles that we hold on to, get tight and stuck. Our jaw, maybe tapping, feeling this waterfall of liquid light, just pelting and tapping and releasing. And again, it flows out the front and back of the throat, like a fire hydrant. And clearing out the front and back of your throat. Just gonna spend a few more moments here, releasing anything that we may have expressed that didn't feel true to us, any ways that our expression is out of balance, any ways that our life force like isn't expressing itself in its fullest capacity, allowing this light to blow out of our throat chakras and just like clear all that away. We're purifying any ways that we've been out of alignment in what we say, whether it's what we say to ourselves and our minds, or whether we say it to other people, or whether it's like in a way of expressing ourselves that doesn't feel true to us. Right now we're just letting that light wash it away and committing in this moment to like releasing it, and committing right now to not do that, to not be aligned with that energy anymore, and to not say these things to ourselves or others, or express ourselves in ways that don't feel 100% true and authentic. So whatever is not that, allowing it to clear away. And again, you might sense what that is for you. Like you might have memories or see visions or just feel emotions coming up, or thoughts. Maybe it's like you're recognizing some limiting thoughts and beliefs. You may feel tension in other parts of your body or in that part of your body, or you may be sensing nothing at all, and whatever it is totally 100% right for you in this moment. So allowing just one more cue to allow that to clear out the front and back of our throats. The intention is enough. So intending that it flow down into our shoulders, and releasing, relaxing our shoulders and out our arms, our biceps, our triceps, our elbows, our forearms, our wrists, our hands, out our fingertips. As you allow this light to flow down and clear out all these parts of you, it might make sense to you to move those parts of you, so that you're allowing the light to move that energy, but you're also physically, right, moving that energy out of these places. So our hands, right, are like, I want to say like tools or implements, right? Like there are these parts of us that hold things, we take things, we give things, right? We fix things, we type things, we write things, right? We use our hands a lot to express, and we use our hands a lot to kind of make real in the world what otherwise is unseen or unexpressed. Create a lot, creating art with our hands, right? We do so much with our hands, so allowing that energy out our arms to clear. Clearing away any ways that we use these glorious limbs of ours that aren't aligned with the things we want to create in the world. And then moving down and flowing out the front and back of our hearts. Any ways that we might have, been doing things or saying things and being things that aren't true for us, that make us feel separate or confused, or just like not following our heart's desires. Any of that, allowing this waterfall of liquid light to flow down now, straight down your channel and out through your heart in the front and the back. The back is like betrayal. So really allowing it to like flow out the back of your heart, in any ways that, maybe, we've been betrayed by others or the outside world, but also clearing away any ways that we may have betrayed ourselves, our soul selves, right? That we may have betrayed our hearts and like doing things that we knew weren't right for us, or that we didn't really want to do and we did them anyway. Or just feeling heartbroken. The state of our lives, the state of our world, any ways that we feel like we have not, been able to, ... Really allowing the light to flow out through the front and the back. We're really going in. So bear with me today. There might be a lot of sadness or anger or stuff that comes up, because today's all about purification. We're kind of clearing the slate here, so to say. So allowing that like to flow out the front and back of our hearts, clearing the space for our heart path, for our true desires to be known, for that path to reveal itself. Remember, clearing out our high heart area and our lower heart areas. All right, so we cleared the ways in which we may have not exactly been following our true heart's path. And now we're going to move it down. So this, as I said before, is a place where a lot of us get stuck. So really now, like, focus your energy, focus your intention. We really got to, like, you're almost like pushing it down, but I don't want to say pushing it, because we're really like letting this light from above flow. And it's almost like it gets to the heart and then it's like dammed up a little bit. That's interesting. Damned, right? Like, I was thinking of like beaver dams, but also like damned, right? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But we are not damned if we do let this light like bust through there. So that's where you got to send your awareness and your energy, and you could just imagine it like a dam bursting from your heart space and then down to your solar plexus right below your rib cage, and now the light bursts out of there. So we've just like, you know, busted that dam with the light of universal awareness. These purifying energies, these clearing energies. So now they're flowing out the front and back of our solar plexus, below our rib cage, in the front and the back. And it's clearing away any of the ways that we may have acted not in alignment with our truth. We may have pretended to be someone we're not. We may have done things just because like we felt like we needed to, because society told us to, because we needed to survive. I put that in air quotes. Whatever these things that we did because we felt like we had to, and not because that was our truest heart's desire and expression. Allowing all of those things to be blasted out from this busted open dam. Really letting it flow. And if your mind wanders, that's totally fine and totally great. You gotta bring it back. We're gonna like, this is one where we might want to escape right now, because like a lot of us have been pursuing action that hasn't been in total alignment with our soul. I mean, and like, we'll get into this later, but like, there's lots of reasons. None of it is anybody's fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. But what we can do in this moment is really send that light down into our solar plexus, blasting it out so that we don't do those things anymore. From this moment on, we commit to doing only what is in complete alignment, to doing only what is for the greatest benefit of all beings, including ourselves and all beings, and the knowing that there is no difference ultimately. So allowing our solar plexus to clear out like all of that day to day, let's be honest, it's bullshit, right? That we all do. And it's not what we really need or desire or is really even helpful, right? So just allowing all of that to clear on this energy. Like feel it a density, like a lot of us have been doing a lot of stuff, right? And so there's two polarities here that we're clearing. We're clearing the polarity of overdoing, right? Doing for the sake of doing, or doing because we feel we have to, right? Or doing, just doing because that's like what so much of our culture tells us to do is to do. So there's like the overdoing, and there's like the not taking time, you know, to rest, to relax one's mind, right? To like do care for oneself in ways, you know, in certain ways. So there's the overdoing, and that's one side of the polarity. And then there's the like not doing, which, you know, not doing in its truest form is actually a doing. Right? So if you're not doing, right, you're sitting there, so let's say you're sitting there meditating, right? Technically you're not doing anything. but that's a doing. You're doing something to not do something. You get what I mean? There is a shadow side of this side of the polarity, which is like, what's that word? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're paralyzed, right? You're like, stuck. Like you're not, like you're, I don't want to use the word lazy because I feel like that has such a negative connotation, but like, you know, we procrastinate things that actually like really are good for us to do, and then we don't do them, right? This is what I'm talking about by like the not doing shadow side of the polarity, is like, you know, being too scared or feeling too confused or too stuck or too whatever, right? Too sad, too like beaten up, right? To whatever you're feeling, like in despair, whatever it is, right? To like do the thing. I think so much of it, and yeah, so we're really cleaning this, right? So remember, this light is flowing down as I'm saying all these things. I'm saying them and I'm bringing the stuff up, and it's probably bringing up some like hard truths for us, you know, to think about this. And so we are bringing these up from the depths of our subconscious, because what's happening is that normally these things are like running the show, you know, like what's going on in our subconscious isn't made conscious. And so that's actually what we're experiencing in the outside world, because these subconscious energies are, it's like 90% of what makes up this world, and what makes up our mind, right? So yeah, we're bringing it up, but it's really important then, this is what we're doing, this is what we're practicing right now, is remembering that light that is flowing down from source energy above. And so every time something's brought up, we're like bringing the light to it, bringing the light to it, bringing the light to it, which is like, you could call it a lot of different things. It could be clearing it, it could be transmuting it, you know, it could be like bringing the light to it, to illuminate it, like whatever you want to call it is what you want to call it. But like, if you just bring up these things and then you don't bring the light of awareness to it, or allow the light of awareness to flow to it, then we're just bringing it up, and then we're like ruminating in it, right? We bring it up, but then it's like at best like in our mind space, right? We're thinking about it. And if you're just thinking about it, then you're actually perpetuating the same energies over and over again. You see what I'm saying? Let's like shake out your solar plexus with me. And keep bringing that light down and through, all around. Right? I say bringing. So what I mean by bringing is like bringing our awareness to it and creating the opening and letting it flow. That's what I mean when I say that. So I don't mean like it's something that, oh, we have to do on the polarity of doing and not doing, right? This is another not doing. You're bringing the light, that means you're just like letting it flow, right? So letting it flow through our solar plexus, all the ways that we've been doing too much, or we haven't been doing the things that actually are necessary and important, clearing those out, clearing those out. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We have to keep going, right? So, I mean, all this time, right? Whenever something else comes to you, and if you feel it activating another center, so like, if anyone doesn't know, like we're going through the chakras, right? I mean, I feel like most people know, but if you don't know, like, that's totally fine. All it is these energy centers that kind of correspond with places on our body. They may or may not correspond with like colors and feelings and like different aspects of ourselves, right? So we're going through these, and we're really like tending to the energies that reside in these different places and spaces that are both energetic and physicalized, right? So now the light's flowing through. It always has been, it always will be, but our conscious awareness is bringing it down, allowing it to flow. Crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, and now down into our bellies. For now, just like let it come down into your belly, and we'll like let it swirl and whirl around there like we did before. We consume so much, like, and I mean consume like as in eat, and I also mean consume as in take in so much from the outside world, and we consume a lot that is toxic, honestly. We consume a lot that is not actually for our greatest and highest good, that is not the healthiest thing for us. And this, even we're talking about consuming like ideas, consuming, you know, products, like the things we put on our skin, right? Or you know, like even just like the pollutants in the air, right? We can't help but go out, especially like if you live in a city or something, which if you don't know, I lived in New York City for like a decade. You know, like you're just like bombarded by it all the time, and our skin is like, you know, the biggest organ on our body, and it's completely porous, right? That's how like stuff leaks out and stuff can get in. So we're like taking in stuff all the time that needs to be cleared, that needs to be processed. And so we're allowing this like to flow down through our belly and all these lower organs, which are like pretty much constantly in this day and age working to, you know, get rid of the toxins, right? And get rid of, like, even don't get me started on the food that we're eating, right? Even if you're trying to like eat organic and whatever, there's just so much like in that food. And fact of the matter is that because we're not restoring the soil, like it doesn't even have the nutrients that we need. And if it did, then it would like be easier for us to process like any kind of other stuff, toxic stuff or whatever you want to call it, like out. But because, you know, our food is depleted basically, I just got started. I was like, don't get me started. I went there. But, you know, because of that, we really have to tend to our own detoxification. And I mean that physically, right? Drinking lots of water, you know, like making sure you consume things that are like, I mean, gut health is so important. I'm obsessed with like probiotics and fermented foods and stuff, because they all help, right? Because it's a symbiotic relationship, like with these bacteria that can help us. But like, so on a physical level, we have to, you know, pay attention to getting out all of this from our bodies. But right now, bringing this light down and through, right, we're allowing it like also energetically to clear and to like kind of like what you're doing is you're saying like, hey body, hey digestive organs, I really appreciate you. Without you I would like die and be like really sick and in a lot of pain. And like, so here, let me help you out by like clearing, actually like on the deepest level, right, any stagnant emotions, right? Any stagnant feelings that maybe you haven't been addressing. And so while you're bringing this down into the organs, you can, if like you're able to at this point, you can allow this light to flow out the front and back of your sacral chakra, which is like right underneath your belly button basically. Right, so, and if you're just on your organs, then that's fine too, but just let it get down in there and like down into your hips and your butt. Like really, this one, like so many people are not allowing the energy to reach this far down, and we have to allow it to reach this far down in order to clear out the stuff in there that's like clogging up the works, so that we can tap into like the deepest roots of our like power and potential. And I don't mean power in an icky way, we'll get to that later, but I mean our own personal potential and our ability to actualize that in the world, right? So we got to clear out all the stagnant emotions, right? Like anything that we have not been wanting to deal with, or anything even we may have like taken on from others. I know a lot of us in here are like super empaths, or baby empaths, or just empaths, right? And we just, that's another thing, we consume the energy, right? Like we unconsciously through our pores and like through, you know, like our energy fields that aren't necessarily like, you know, set up in ways that like block that energy or deflect that energy, right? So we take it in. So, you know, it might be emotions in relationship to others. It might be just like emotions, you know, like we're just feeling like just like at the state of the world. It might be emotions like from because our life isn't what we want it to be, right? Allow yourself to just like feel it. Feel whatever it is. Like we already cleared the heart. So maybe the heart, you know, is like clear space right now to allow you in this moment to really allow yourself to feel deeply. Like, are you sad? Where are you angry? Right? Like I tend to be like a very happy, like peaceful, like optimistic person. But like there's a lot going on in the spiritual world. A lot of people are spiritually bypassing these deeper emotions, myself included. I have in the past. it is my commitment to this moment to not do that any longer, because yeah, sure, like everything's great, we're all love and light, like fantastic, magic is totally real, totally, like you'll hear me say that all the time. And also we feel other things, and like if we're not feeling some level of like rage or anger, sadness or something at the state of the world, right? Like at the fact that like so many people are like sick and impoverished and aren't getting the care that they need, right? Like that people are dying in wars and like fighting one another over just like stupid, honestly, just stupid shit, like power and money and greed and like whatever, like ignorance, basically. We'll talk about that later. But like, like there's legit pain in the world, right? And if we don't allow ourselves to acknowledge that and to process that, right, it gets stuck in here, and it inhibits our ability, right, to actually really be a force that changes it, that does something about it, that all that love and light, that it actually channels that in a way that makes a difference. So, like you can, to a certain extent, right, without going to the lower areas, do that. You can start to see things change and shift, but the deep seat of our power is much lower. It's much deeper. It like comes up from the earth and from our lower regions, right? And we gotta go in there. So, like imagining like right now, like we have this waterfall of liquid light flowing down, right? It's flowing down and it's like coming into like the lake in our mind, which like streams out right into different rivers and branches, and that comes down into our heart, and that creates like another river out of there. And then we had a dam in our solar plexus that broke through, and now that's like another channel that's opened up. And now like we're coming down to like some like lower rocky area where there's like a cave maybe underground, and either like like visualizing or like moving your body as if you're walking like down into this cave, right? And there's still water flowing, like there's water flowing down into it, and so it might be kind of like slippery or like slimy or like whatever, but we're like going down in here and we're like letting the water like start to flow. And it might be scary, right? We might think if like the water flows more, it'll just like wash me down into this cave, and I don't know what's in there, obviously a bunch of water pooled somewhere. Like maybe I'll drown, but like just imagine yourself going down there, and like that this water flowing down is just light and it's coming through and you're coming with it. You're literally like going down in that cave to see what's down in there. And so whatever you see along the way, you might see like actual objects like stalagmites and stalactites, or like crystals, or like animals or bugs, or like moss or fungi, or like a dragon, like whatever you're seeing along the way, hieroglyphics, just allow yourself. And if you're not seeing anything at all, that's totally fine. Feel yourself, like activate your body, like get like you're crawling down right into a deep dank cave, and really go there, and keep breathing and keep sending the light, keep letting it flow. And we're going down into that cave, and so we're going through all these twists and turns and these caverns, and at the end like there's like this opening, and it's dark in there, but you have to finish going through these tunnels, and you're about to like go into this opening, right? Feel whatever you're feeling before you go in there, and take a moment to honor this moment that you are going down like essentially into like your own womb space, right? And before you cross the threshold, just like take a moment, remember your intention, send the light there. And then as you cross that threshold and you go into this cave that like opens up into this room, like this room that contains all of these emotions that you haven't been feeling, all of these thoughts you didn't want to be thinking or acknowledge that you're thinking, all of these ideas, thoughts, ways of being that you have taken on from the dominator culture that like oh, they just got internalized and like have been living in there. And you're allowing your light to flow. You can be shining a light. Maybe you have like a flashlight or a torch or like a wand, a glowing wand or something, and you're just like moving around this room and you're illuminating all of these different things. So all of these emotions, all of these thoughts, all of these ideas, all of these ways of being, right? Like you might even see like a projector like showing, you know, your life, like scenes from your life and ways you've like made choices or did things, right, that like just you don't even know why you did them, right? And it's shining a light like on any energies that are down in there that like maybe you haven't wanted to even acknowledge before. Things like, you know, greed, lust, power, you know, maybe even your own like creative energy. Maybe you haven't even wanted to like see what is possible for you to create. Just continue allowing the light to flow, shining a light into that space, into that dark space. There's lots of different corners and caverns, and like check out the ceiling and the floor, right? And maybe there's little like turnoffs and bends, or like you can look under rocks or tables, or like, you know, whatever's in there. Maybe there's like coffins and stuff you need to open. Whatever you're encountering down there, exactly what you need to see, right? And just remember, like, that light is still, it's flowing in with you, it's flowing in for you, it's flowing in through you, and whatever light you're shining into that space. And while we're here, we're also going to shine a light to like the deepest like aspects of our sexuality. We're going to go there, just like what's in there that maybe you haven't wanted to look at, you know. What's something, because sexuality, our sexual energy in its purest form, right, is powerful, beyond belief. That's like our creative, like kundalini, like co-creative energy that like makes this world what it is. And so many of us have had that suppressed and oppressed, or, you know, abused, denied, you know, like rejected. Whatever is down in that cave, just be willing to see it and be with it, and maybe even be curious about it, allowing whatever's happening for you to happen. If you're experiencing any emotions, like just knowing like that this womb safe is your safe space and you're bringing a light to it. And so like while we're here, like always, like I do this before I do a transmission, but I'm gonna do it now. I could have done it with you at the beginning, but like we're gonna do it now for sure. Is just like to remember, like we're gonna like set our protection. So just like while you're in this cave, just taking a moment to like reinforce like this like circle or like just vortex of protection around this womb space and around that whole cavern that you came down and all the waterfall and everything, right? And so you can intend to surround yourself in protection. You might see it as like light energy. You might see it as like a bunch of deflective mirrors, that anything that tries to come at you is just going to get deflected onto itself. It could be like a cloak, a dark cloak of invisibility that nothing can penetrate because they don't even know it's there, right? If you want to visualize it as something, go ahead. You might call upon your spirit allies, you know, your ancestors or any protectors, spirits that you have a relationship with. You might just feel it as like this force field around you, right? Just feeling like that there's this energy field that nothing can penetrate. You might even like move to like, you know, like a wind turbine or something, you know, to generate this field even stronger while we go down deeper, right? And allow yourself to be in this room knowing that you are totally safe because you are protecting yourself, because you are setting a boundary, right? Because you are going into a safe, sacred space of your own understanding and power and connection. And so just spending a few more moments in here, looking around at all of that has been tucked away, all of that has been denied, hidden, diminished, forgotten. And just allow yourself to see it, experience, and be with it. I'm going to let you be with it for just a minute. And if this part makes you feel like wild, like you gotta dance it out or shake it off, right? Or like stomp it out, or like however like it causes you to move or vocalize or whatever, like let it rip and roar. As part of clearing the energy too, is like we're bringing the light energy to it and physicalize that in whatever way feels for you right to do that. Go, let it go. Let all of it free that energy. And from there, like feeling yourself like in this cave with your feet really grounded on the earth, maybe your bare feet, maybe you have feet on, like in this visualization or in this body that you're in, whatever that means to you, feeling your feet really on the floor, feeling the surface that it's contacting, feeling the weight of your body on the soles of your feet. And continuing to allow that light to flow down to you and through you, all around you now, totally straight down through your central channel and down through your root, down through the bottom of your torso, straight down through the floor, sending these tendrils of light, this like flowing water of liquid light down into the ground and into the earth and all of the layers of the earth. As it does so, it clears out your root. It clears out that very lower part of your body. It clears out all of your genitals. It's like this glorious like bath of light energy that's like clearing. It clears out down your legs, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your shins, your ankles, your feet. It's flowing down through your feet now, right? It's clearing out like our weariness of walking through this world. It's clearing out any of the ways like that we felt like maybe we couldn't move forward, we couldn't take the next step. And it's flowing down through the earth and through all the layers of the earth. And it's just like flowing straight down to the heart of Mother Earth through all of those layers. And she's just like waiting there with open arms and open heart and open womb, to like let you in, to let that light in. So as it goes all the way down to the heart of Mother Earth, like feel yourself and all that light that you are descending into that glorious like vortex of love and welcome and belonging and support, and allowing that energy to bounce back up once you contact it, and once you can just feel that shift, like that all those spaces in us are just so loved. They're all so welcome here too, and allowing that light energy to flow up from the center of Mother Earth and up through the earth and all the layers and back up through our roots and into that cave. And like when it comes back up into that cave, it like kind of like bursts open, like like through the floor, and it just illuminates that whole space, and that whole space is just like covered now with love, right? It's like just like being flooded with love and flooded with light and flooded with these energies that are like purifying it, and also simultaneously like regenerating and creating the newness in this moment right now. So that light from below is coming up into our womb space. The light from above is still flowing down. They're meeting there together in this like cave of yours, and they're just swirling around together. And from that swirly whirliness of liquid light energy, love and wisdom, and that's like flowing out now into all different directions around you, and it's like swirling out into your field around you, the space around you. And it's flowing out, and it's flowing out, and it's flowing out like into the room and into the world. And just from this space, it's like flowing out from this source. Right now, set a new intention, set a new commitment to how you are living your life in this moment, starting right now. Just do that for a few moments. As you move through it, vocalize through it, feel through it, allow it to come to you. I commit to this path. I commit to this way of being. I commit to, like not doing that anymore so that I can commit to this, right? You're setting it in this moment, and therefore in this moment, that is what's happening. And that swirly, whirly energy is like literally sending that commitment out throughout your body and throughout your aura, your, auric field, your energetic field that we all have that surrounds us, and into the room that you're in, right? And into the world that you live in, into your like local area, like all that energy is just swirling out through there. And all the newness of your intention is just like blessing everything in its path, including yourself, including permeating all the cells of your being. We went there, we went deep, possibly dark. We went to places that probably we didn't want to go. And those are the places that we need to go so that we can see who it is that we are, so that we can experience what it is that we're here for. And so we can channel that into our commitment onto our path, no matter what our previous challenges may have been. So for another moment, just like letting that light swirl out all around you, swirling, swirling, swirling. And then call it all back to you, and call it back to your center. Call it back to your womb space. Call it back into your body and down into your seat. Really grounded into the lower part of your body. Call all that energy back to you, all of your power back to you, all of your light. Call it back to you now. And feel yourself connected there, both within and without, and above and below, from all directions, from all dimensions. And so it is. Whenever you're ready, take your time. coming out of this however you need to. And I will see you in the next one.